Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dead Space. So we very possibly are just going to be getting chased by the regenerators this whole time.
And it's a piece of shit. No way I can pressurize the cabin.
We'll have to remote pilot it back to the repair bay on the Roanoke.
Yeah, right. Let me look around. If I can build a remote relay, I can plant it on the hull.
So I don't have enough distance to grab that. Seems like there's all kinds of enemies around here. We're trying to get this ship to use to escape because we got hit by a mine before, I guess. I guess that's what's going on here. Maybe we're gonna get treated a little bit better and not just end up having regenerators attack us all over the place. Here we can try and pick up some items over here. I don't know what that was that I just picked up, whether that was semiconductors. Notice how things look like they should be able to make their way through the bars, and yet they're not quite squeezing their way through them. So anytime you see a vent and something doesn't attack you the first time, you know they're going to attack you the second time. So we're just slightly on our guard. That's clearly the goal. You hear a lot of zombies. So I guess the question is going to come down to whether or not... Apparently I just found some part. Let's go ahead and use a health kit a couple times. We've got all kinds of noise playing. So let's see if that just dropped an item. So that guy has his explosive ability, so we want to try and avoid that. Yeah, and I'm just not sure if this is a game where they're going to constantly go in circles or what. Let's see. Am I supposed to be working my way up this way? These Necromorphs are just getting more and more like designs to look like decayed corpses. That it creates a weird situation where I really would have liked to see it work differently. I would have liked to see more fleshy creatures. Alright, so apparently I was supposed to call that over. don't even know what kind of necromorph that was. So you're supposed to work this way. And I guess we'll go down to the center area, since I figure that's what we want to do. So we need to insert a remote, which I guess we don't have a remote yet. Yeah, now is not the time. So here's an interesting question. If you get into this into this menu, are you perfectly safe? No. Where was the one that just attacked me? Alright, so we are basically running around here looking for items, I guess, to build a remote. And once again, we're in a situation where the game is not really telling us what to do. Like, I didn't even know we were really looking for parts specifically for to finish this area. I thought I had just found the same old single player content style parts that would have upgraded the weapon. Alright, well, we have the part. But I think we have the parts now. I do think stasis bullets probably would help here. That's not what I meant to hit. So I might try to build that scope if I can't, after I can't try to upgrade the health and the armor, which is about the only things I can really upgrade at this point. Right. Okay. Craft, craft, craft. Have to hit it 3 times to do that. And then the scavenger bot has come back and given us some more resources. Let's just look at our inventory here. We'll make a couple of these. We'll make one of these. And I don't think that there's really anything else I want to do. Yeah. Stasis support. That's not the attachment I'd want. I'd want stasis amplifier. No, stasis coating, which would require 75 tungsten. And see, that's about the only thing I can imagine I would want. So we can just put the scavenger bot back down. It doesn't really matter where you put it because it always goes back to every single bench. In the game, so you can do whatever you want with it.
Hey, that worked. I can see the shuttle readouts. Okay, hang on. I'm going to try and start her up.
Okay. So we have put a remote control.
It's out of fuel.
Oh, wait, there should be a refueling station on the upper floor. Here, I'm sending you the coordinates.
Okay. I'll head up and refuel the shuttle. We can try restarting it after that.
So we're going that way. And I guess that's the thing, is that I can complain as much as I want about the game not telling me what to do, but at any point I could always have, or at most points at least, I could have always done this and it would have pushed me towards the objective. But even at that, if you don't know what the objective is, what's the point of potentially knowing where to go? Yep, we're going through that door, which it does make me wonder if several of these other doors might be unlocked, but I bet they aren't. I bet we're going to have to run around and do a bunch of stuff and then come back into this area and fight more enemies, and that I wouldn't be surprised if we end up fighting Necromorphs in that one area 3 or 4 times. What's interesting is they're making sounds as if they're talking, which that would be interesting certainly if the Necromorphs started to have some sounds of intelligence. And there was actually some logic there. Yeah, I'm still 3 or 4 shotting these guys. Yeah, and it just doesn't feel like I can increase your damage any more than what it already is. So, like, unless I'm supposed to just be using a shotgun weapon instead. Yeah, I guess we may very well just end up running through that area. I wouldn't be surprised if the regenerators just show up again and then we're going to try and fire the engine to burn the regenerators, considering how that's how they were taken out previously in games, is by being burnt alive. Right, so first thing to do is find every collectible in this area, because this feels like this is giving us a brief reprieve. There's another weapon upgrade. Here we have more of these posters. Yeah, I can't help but feel like this game kind of falls apart because it doesn't have any kind of horrific imagery / hallucinations. They basically ruin that concept by making it a co-op game, because if Isaac is hallucinating something, then it has to be just a even bigger hallucination than the first game of his girlfriend still being alive. Spoiler for the first game. And if you're not willing to take it that far, then him just seeing small hallucinations of false things doesn't really change much. There's also like considerably fewer like people, just corpses, human corpses in the game. It's pretty much everybody on this ship was perfectly turned into a necromorph, which implies that even the other corpses on the Ishimura could have been turned into necromorphs if they had been under the influence of a true marker instead of a fake marker, which I assume that's what's going on there.
Okay, tank's full. Try again.
That's more like it. Okay, I'm initiating a test fire of the shuttle's engine. Take cover. This could get hot. That stupid, bloody ancient technology. Oh God. Isaac, I think I just started the launch sequence, and I don't know how to stop it.
You what?
Look, just get out of that chamber before it bakes you to a crisp.
Well, the game says go this way. Now that works. Well, I was thinking we were gonna burn. Okay. So, that didn't work. I wonder if I'm supposed to find a different path or if I'm supposed to just stasis the fire. This whole stasis thing really doesn't make sense anyways. Is there anything else here? Nope. So I wonder if we are just being attacked by the regenerators, and I'm just gonna stasis them and try and run. I'm not 100% sure which way to run here. I guess we're calling that. Seriously? Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna make it all the way through normal at this rate, as far as the difficulty settings.
Chamber. All hands, clear the launch chamber. Beginning systems check.
Alright, we're trying to find where the guy is. Problem is, his regeneration ability is just so fast. Now it's not really even like slowing down with stasis. Clearly I need to upgrade the stasis, and then I'm gonna go and upgrade the stasis and find that it's like kind of a pointless addition. I need him out of the way. I want to take a couple of steps. Come on.
The airlock door is stuck. If the shuttle launches before it opens.
Son of a bitch! Alright, I'll check the gears.
Alright, so we are not going into the ship through that direction. Instead, we are going downward. No time to use the bench. Yes, time to use health kits. Stasis is still really slow though. It's like really questionable how any of the other people would have made it through an area like this though. That's the weird part about this, is if any other humans were supposed to make it this way.
System check complete.
Let's take a moment to look at our inventory. We're still fine. And I guess if necessary, we could use a stasis kit. Clear obstructions from the gears.
There's something wedged in the gears! Looks like military ordnance. I'm gonna try to clear it!
Explosive. Oh God, be careful, Isaac.
How am I supposed to clear it? I guess what I'm supposed to do, let's just look around here for a moment just to make sure we know what this is. Yeah, I guess we're gonna activate a turret gun here and fire.
Isaac, the shuttle's gonna launch any minute. How's the door?
The gears keep getting jammed! I'm clearing them as fast as I can!
So we're trying to basically shoot all these regenerators now to get, I guess, our sweet comeuppance. And once again, this feels like this was totally designed for
It's begun the final countdown. Isaac!
the co-op, and it doesn't really work as a non-co-op experience. It's crazy that you can be shooting this much and not just destroy the room. That's exactly what happens. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be pressing like quick time events here or what.
You did it! He did it! Thank God, Isaac!
Attaboy, Isaac.
Okay, everybody. Let's get the docking bay ready to receive the shuttle. Isaac,
Okay.
we'll see you when you get back.
We'll just shoot anything that looks like a mine. We've got kind of plenty of time to fly back to the forefront of the section. Orient to ground with the right bump. Well, that didn't seem like that did anything. I don't think there's really a lot of secrets or collectibles, and even if there was a secret or collectible, I don't think it would be really worth that much anyways. So we're just mostly shooting things. Shooting mines. Which wouldn't be surprised if there was a like achievement that says called Minesweeper or something for shooting all the mines in a certain area or shooting a certain number of mines. That doesn't look like oxygen. What this may be doing is it may create a scenario where we are going to end up on that floor that we didn't bother with before. Yeah. And what are you looking for?
So, how's the shuttle?
Specific way
Yeah,
in?
this thing needs more than plating. It's missing the port engine.
There's a small wreck near the Greeley. It could be a shuttle.
We should check it out.
All right, Rosen, lock, suit up. You're on engine duty.
But sir, my legs...
Yeah, I'm not asking you to do jumping jacks. Now get moving.
All right. Hey, Rosen, I'll meet you there.
Whatever.
So here we have a co-pilot boarding zone, and our goal is to recover a port engine from the Crowizer, which I think that means we're going to a completely different area as far, and potentially a whole nother section. So we'll check this out just to see if this is something, but I wouldn't be surprised if actually this is the wrong direction. Yeah. But let's check this area out just so we don't miss anything. Yeah. We are, I believe, in the front section of the ship. And this is what was here before. I wouldn't be surprised if this door was locked up until this point. Now, we haven't found any new suit, and I feel like we'll find at least one suit at some point in the game. It'd be really crazy if you don't get one until the end of the until you've beaten the game completely. Logically, duration on stasis should be upgraded. I can upgrade it fairly easily now, and the amount of energy might be useful. Recharge, probably not so much. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see any other regenerators in the whole game. And it would be, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is actually the wrong thing to do. Alright, so we'll craft health and armor, because that's going to help us throughout the entirety of the game. We are now short on tungsten, which there's no way to get tungsten, and short on semiconductors to go further. So we need a lot more semiconductors than they're really handing out. Scrap metal, we still have 5. So we could give ourselves some more air. I don't know if that's really necessary. Duration, we will increase that, and recharge, we could increase that, but I don't think we want to. As far as the amount of damage from shooting something, well, before we upgrade that, let's see what else we can upgrade. Yes, we want recharge first. That means I think now nothing could be upgraded. We can give ourselves full on air, which probably will never ever play a role. And that left us 2 short on transducers, or 3 short on transducers to increase the damage by 20%, 20%, 20%. So if you upgraded this all the way, you would double the amount of damage for grabbing something and throwing at somebody, which is just not a gameplay mechanic or a gameplay system I use. Is there a real reason why these doors are like this? Maybe because they were designed to... You would still have to be on the ground to open the door, so you could still just walk up to things. Like, that's just a great example. You walked up and pressed the button there. So they just made different kinds of doors that use telekinesis, just to remind you have telekinesis. There is a argument to doing the Brusilov, which had a co-op level, but I don't think you can actually do it. I wouldn't be surprised if you went to the Brusilov, and we'll probably want to check this at the end of the game if we never go to the Brusilov. But I wouldn't be surprised if you get here and you just cannot actually open the door without 2 players. So we are flying again with the pre-rendered cutscenes. This is very much like the transition scenes in Myst, which, yeah, sure, when, or maybe not even Myst, maybe I'm talking more closer to like Myst 3 Exile, but that would have been probably 10 plus years difference, and these transition scenes for a 2014 game are acceptable but not particularly great, and it would be better if they weren't there, so you could just hopefully improve your game so it loaded faster. Nowadays, most game developers know that anything you do that is a mandatory amount of load time because they're showing you a cutscene is not really appreciated by the player. This ship looks far too much like all the other ships. Like, and it is weird that there isn't like different kinds of corporations, and that this all seems to be a military thing. The Ishimura, I think, was an illegal mining facility.
Is this it?
Hey, you wanted an engine? Here you go.
It'll do.
It's shit. Just like our plan.
You always this helpful.
Hey, some of us just want to go home, all right? I've disconnected all the lines and service tubes, but hell if I know how to get it out of there.
I'll figure it out. Go get your equipment together so we can tow it back to the repair bay.
I cannot get that piece. And I think that was probably a waste of bullets. There's probably at least one thing floating around there. There's the red. So that's what we're looking for. Something's shooting at me. Yep. I'm pretty much convinced that there is no reason to be out in this area. Seems like it just wants to give you bullets at most. Maybe some health kits. And that's it. Like, whereas you would have assumed that there would have been all kinds of collectibles, maybe even some enemies to fight, something of some interest. See, there's some red over there, which would imply to me that there should be something to get, but you can't just walk off the edge. Is it in the bowels of the framework of this building, or was it just those 3 collectibles? which didn't have anything in them. I don't really recall the out in space sections being particularly interesting even in the first game, but they definitely felt more impactful and more cinematic than these sections. Okay. Am I supposed to be shooting this? Okay, well, we've got some yellow indicating that we need something else. Either that, or we are not actually going in this ship at all, and we are supposed to be disconnecting an engine. But I don't even have, accounting for scale, an idea as far as what the engine is supposed to look like. Yeah, we'll get some oxygen so that we don't just stupidly die. So I have no idea if the engine is supposed to be half of this ship, a small part of the ship, probably a small part of the ship. I don't think we can fly all the way over to that part. I don't think we're crawling inside whatever those tubes are. Okay. Well, I guess that helps. So this is the engine. Aim kinesis and grab near objects. Okay. Seems like I'm kinesising a lot of stuff. And something attacked me there. Okay.
You think you can handle it from here?
Yeah, Clark. I'm not an idiot.
And be sure to lock the injectors down tight. I don't want them popping off in mid-flight. Asshole.
So there was a guy there?
Okay, guys. I got the engine. Is everything ready?
Well, not quite. We're gonna get tossed around like a midget at a circus if we try to navigate that atmosphere without a flight path.
What about using flight
Just
recorders from these
not
derelict
moving
ships?
at all.
Yeah, right. We could reconstruct one of the routes they used.
I'll search outside the Roanoke.
Look for small satellites with 4 solar panels sticking out.
Satellites with solar panels. Got it.
So they want me to go back that way. Did find this guy. So for posterity's sake, I can shoot him. Nothing here. Although that does definitely look like something. Yeah, it's just not worth your effort to try and take out these guys because, I mean, worst case scenario, you get close to them, shoot them, and then if they were going to drop something, they would have dropped them a while ago. Interesting glitch. Typically, the games are programmed well enough that they don't have something despawn directly in your field of vision when you're looking at it. You can see now that I have just a massive amount of health. It's just kind of ridiculous. And I would suspect that we would get a side mission option, some kind of signal or something to give us an optional mission. But no, so we were on the Terra Nova. Now we're going back to the Roanoke. It really is just following that same concept that the first game did, where you were transitioning from one very generic looking area to another very similar generic looking area. And that made a lot of sense when you were just stuck on the Ishimura, which was one ship. It makes a lot less sense when you have 3 ships. And yeah, definitely feels like it would have been fairly easy to establish 3 artistic teams and say we're going to have some mechanics that are universal, like the benches, but then we're going to let you go a little wild and create your own interpretation of the ships, which would be from different time frames, so no problem there. Okay. So what am I supposed to be doing with these?
Buckle, I think I found one of those flight recorders.
Great. There should be more floating around the Roanoke.
Okay, I'll see what I can turn up.
It's funny that these mines just kind of slowly work their way. I just got that one. Okay, so the markers are not going to help us. We'll just do this the old-fashioned way. We'll shoot the mines and try not to mess up too much. Go ahead and use a health kit. There's one over there, but we'll grab this one first. It seems like we're probably going to end up needing to collect 4. It definitely feels though like we just are doing exactly what we had just kind of done.
All right, Ellie. I think I have enough flight recorders to reconstruct a safe route to the planet.
Great. What's next?
I put it all together into a navigation module and then plug it into the shuttle. I just need to find a bench. Should be easy enough.
Part found. Can't read what that says because I'm zooming away here. Another part found. How much oxygen do we have? Plenty of time. So all we're really trying to do here is find a bench, which wouldn't be too hard to do. We just have to find a way onto the ship, which I think mostly means just going around to the other side of this. It's interesting that there would be some extra satellites. I wouldn't be surprised if there are quite a few of them, and maybe even an achievement for getting them all. Otherwise, there could be a more in-game reward, certainly, of giving you more components if you spend the extra time. Here we are. It shouldn't be too hard to get a bench. And inventory wise, we still got plenty of health kits and plenty of bullets. So even though we're kind of wasting objective, kiosk, bench, all in that direction. The only real question is, I think we came through this area, but I'm not sure we ever went through this door or this door. So, unless the game is going to give us a bit more of a challenge, I feel like I'm just going to walk through here and run up to my ex-girlfriend and talk to her some more. We really didn't get anything that would probably let us upgrade anything anymore. It is possible that they didn't intend for you to see the other seat kiosk, so this was just a second opportunity to do what needs to be done. Yeah, we're back here. And she's missing, which isn't crazy by any means, because why would Ellie, I think that's her name, still be in this area? Everybody else is moving around. And probably just because we have loaded out, everything is going to respawn, giving us a small opportunity for more resources. But I don't think there's an argument towards running through the entire level if the game is not going to tell you you have to run through the entire level, because the amount of resources we're getting is still insignificantly small. Everything is being limited. Here, this was undoubtedly locked the first time, so now that we're back in the second half, that's different. I wouldn't be surprised if we did have the... Is this being worked on? I don't think so. Wouldn't be surprised if there were some Necromorphs that jumped out of that area. But yeah, it does look like you could just go back and try and get more collectibles if you'd missed some collectibles. But there's no special collectibles really that matter. So I got 5 out of 3. And then your crafting is just to press A and then it takes a while to do it. Scavenger bot leaves us with 15 tungsten. Okay. We already have 1 tungsten torque bar. As far as weapons upgrades, let's see. We have rate of fire, damage plus 1 clip. Could we do damage plus rate of fire? I guess we could. Damage plus reload, plus 1 damage. Well, damage plus 1 clip. And damage plus 1 clip, I suppose. Reload plus 1 clip. Let's see, remove circuit, remove circuit. Let's see what we can do over here. Damage plus 1. Go ahead and add damage plus reload. There. Don't have enough tungsten to upgrade that. Do we have enough tungsten to craft stasis amplifier? I mean, not stasis amplifier. We wanted stasis coating. No, we do not. And that would be about the only thing I would like to get instead of lightning damage. Seems like fire damage is not something we're going to get. Or anything like that. We can go ahead and put 1 damage here. And rate of fire and a clip there. Even though I don't think those are actually doing anything. Yeah, I'm being fairly stubborn here in the way this whole thing works. Let's see. I wanted to see about upgrading an attachment on this, since we don't have anything attached to it anyways. Military engine, plasma core. Plasma core is like a fire ability that does very little damage. Hydraulic engine, physical force. Alright, you put a military engine there, and we're just building this gun that I'm just never going to use. But whatever, well, might as well try to play with the game the way it's being presented to you. Is there anything else to consider here? I think we're good on health. I think slight chance we may need a little bit more bullets, but that's nah. We've never even come anywhere close to running out of bullets, so I'd say no to that. As far as blueprints, the tungsten cost on so many of these blueprints makes it completely unlikely that we would ever be able to get any of these weapons.
I think that does it. We should have all the parts we need.
Thank God. Now let's plot a course for the nearest shipping lane and get the hell out of here.
No, Robert. We're going to the planet.
Ellie, I know that's how this all started, but we are in way over our heads. We can't take on a whole planet full of those goddamn things.
If not us, then who? EarthGov is gone. Robert, we're the only ones left who can do this, and you know it.
Ellie, you have to admit it sounds crazy. I mean, how do we know there's really a solution down there?
Because you told me. In the Admiral's quarters, you said, turn it off. And that's exactly what we're going to do.
Damn straight. Captain, we can't pass this up.
Carver, I don't need your mutiny on top of all this. If I say we're not going, we're not going.
No, Ellie's right. There's a shot here and we're gonna take it. Now you can come with us, or you can try to stop us, but remember, around here, we're worse dead than alive. Ellie, get the shuttle prepped. I'm on my way.
It's funny, Isaac just kind of makes a switch decision there for not really a great reason. He didn't have a good motivation to not want to try and shut down the markers in the first place. So it's kind of silly for him to all of a sudden get on the right side of history. The health pack on his back also seems very jittery. Like it's not completely attached, which I guess it technically in the programming isn't completely attached. It's probably just floating on his back. So yeah, it seems to me like this guy, I just placed him, seems to say that there is no resources. So I don't know why it let me place the scavenger bot if there's not going to be any resources. Yeah. I think this thing is going to immediately go somewhere else. So I very possibly put him down in the wrong place. Whatever. Kind of doesn't matter. And yeah, it feels like we are approaching the end of the game. Would there be a way to upgrade anything if we dismantled something? Probably not. Because I think we're pretty much limited on tungsten on everything. I have enough for that. So could I get enough transducers? Probably not. And see, it does certainly highlight that this whole system only serves to frustrate you because you can't in this menu dismantle things that would give you the resources to build the other things. So yeah, we are locked tungsten wise with everything else. So without getting more tungsten, you get as far as I've gotten on the upgrades, which feels to be about halfway on the upgrades. The weapons themselves feel fully set up. There is something, I guess, to be said that if we are in chapter... What am I carrying as a key item? The array. Yeah. It doesn't really feel like we're ever going to have 9 key items. Yeah. We still have no idea what the ration seals are for either. We haven't seen any use of that at all. If we are in chapter 7 and there are 19 chapters, one of chapter 19 feels to be really short. It does kind of feel like more than half of the game is going to be spent on the planet. The only thing I could figure is that maybe, just maybe, we will end up spending some time on the planet and then get back into space. And maybe on the planet, that's where we get our new suit. Which might mean that all the suit upgrades that I've done up until this point are pointless. If that's the case, then I just am expecting to be rewarded with more resources. Yeah, this way. Oh, the ship's right here. Oh, I thought I was gonna have to fly back to where the ship was, but they moved the ship here with the autopilot. Well, that makes that easy. This does look like a very, very scraped up ship. I don't know how you would have...
All right, navigation
faith
module
in it.
installed for what it's worth.
Wait, I'm not getting any. Ah, there it goes.
And just in time. Looks like our flight window's approaching.
Good. I'm coming aboard.
Right, how does one get on this ship? Yeah, you do. Notice no real red here. They painted it with white. instead. We'll probably get another cutscene here with Isaac. He's not a very interesting looking character, but he works. He works fine.
What's that look for?
I think her eyes being white were only white when I first saw her because her pupils just weren't loaded in. I don't think that was supposed to be a hallucination of the fact that she lost an eye.
Let me see what I can do. If one of those pops loose, the cabin fire is going to burn us up before the atmosphere does. Do me a favor. Find the pressure reading on the main console and let me know when I...
Notice how they've had to frame this cutscene with the camera higher than normal and zoomed in more than normal because of the immature, stupid choice of having her have a low cut cleavage showing short. I guess maybe you could make an argument in the future. Cleavage is not a big deal. Here we have the two characters who have been talking to us on the radio that don't really matter. And here we have our co-op guy, I believe. And here we have the commander who has been talking to us. And here we have Ellie, who is the only character that really sets herself up as actually mattering. I'm not sure we've even done anything with this character, maybe. But compared to the first game, there was literally like 3 people that you talk to in the entirety of the game, and it was more than enough. Okay.
That's done something. I saw the needle jump. There we go. Pressure is rising, and it's steady. Ready when you are.
So we're gonna sit down on this CMS cruiser. Nope, we're gonna just hit the activate button and land on the planet. And this is just a lot of pomp and circumstance to just highlight that you couldn't have gone to the planet until this point, that the shuttle would have burnt up in the atmosphere, and your ship was damaged. Why Isaac is flying makes no sense. He's an engineer, remember?
Those mines will rip this ship apart. It'll hold.
Okay, everyone. Let's see if this thing can fly.
Fuel lines are go.
Sensors online. I'm seeing mines at 2,000 meters.
Targeting computer spinning up. Okay, Isaac. You have the controls.
The mines
Try to keep it on course and shoot anything
in
that
general
gets in
are
the way.
pretty bad because they're not working. Alright, so I'm
The mines have a lock on our heat signature. Here they come.
Alright, so they are lock on to mines, but we're pretty much just crashing otherwise. Oh, apparently I'm flying the ship and shooting the mines, whereas in the first game you were really just you were really just trying your best to shoot a turret. And in the first game, that was like the really frustrating section of gameplay.
Hold it on course. If we hit it at the wrong... I got it. Here's where the fun begins.
3, 2, 1.
Alright. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to be inside these boxes, and I'm just now figuring that out. Yeah, this is Not good.
The plates are shaking loose.
Everybody strap in. This is gonna be rough.
I think that was supposed to happen that way.
Coming in too hot.
Give me a course correction.
We can't correct now. We'll miss our window.
This angle, we won't reach the window. Okay, I'm sending you a new vector.
Like, I don't know how you're supposed to avoid hitting a lot of this stuff.
Shaking apart.
Like, because this lock-on targeting, like, so there's somebody dead. Was that supposed to be the way that went? So they just wanted you to do that so you knew what to do. This is a bad sequence though.
Shit. Isaac, take the help. I'll take it down.
If anything, this just feels like this is fulfilling
I can't see anything. What's our altitude?
fulfilling what I assumed was going to happen, is that everybody was going to be dead. Alright, we got rocks all over the place, and we're trying to fly through these rocks. That's just not what this game is though, so there's kind of no point in this existing here. I'm just trying to avoid colliding with ice, and like it didn't matter because the cutscene wanted to play out that way anyways. I would have definitely said make this shorter, make there be more game. See, was that game over? Probably not. That was way too long of a game over sequence. Wow, this looks weird. This looks like way better graphics than any of the other cutscenes. And where's our co-op partner at this point? Was he supposedly flying the other part of the ship and they cut that part out for the solo version of this game? This is a Star Wars reference, obviously. Which I don't think horror games should probably be trying to make Star Wars references. But once again, it just highlights how this is not a horror game anymore. Yeah, if you told me Isaac was dreaming all of this in the first place and everybody was dead, and that sequence in which we saw 2 people die was there to just help Isaac get back to reality and bring his delusion in line with reality, I would believe you. Although that's far too smart writing for this game. My suit's health kit is broken. You now have a body temperature. Standby heat sources to raise your body temp. So we now have a cold timer, which Lost Planet is the name of the game that I was thinking of, where you were on a... Yeah, let's just go ahead and heal a little bit. Probably not, don't have to heal too much, just got an achievement. Search for survivors is now our goal. I just got a survey charge. Yeah, I think what we're gonna find out is that we probably aren't gonna get attacked by necromorphs in this environment, at least not immediately. We're gonna search for survivors, we're gonna get a new suit, and we're going to slowly work our way back towards fighting necromorphs, but it's going to be a while, certainly. Yeah. Not only would I say the landing sequence there should have been a much shortened cutscene, that there was no reason to program those extra gameplay mechanics to only use them once, but the sequence before that seemed incredibly lacking, and had you not had part of your team working on making a landing cutscene with interactivity and a landing minigame, had they instead just been making more level design and more necromorph encounters, then I would have been happier. This game has really railroaded us as far as the actual gameplay that you would expect to see here from Dead Space 1 and Dead Space 2, because it had us in the main part of the previous chapter basically forced us to run away from the regenerators. Then I did the optional section, which a certain percentage of people would skip that. And then when I got back to the main story, I was being chased through the level with regenerators again. And after that, we were just flying around space to find space satellites and find space engines. So it definitely feels like there could have been a whole chapter there where we would have done more. And since we've crash landed on the planet, there's a question if we will even ever get back into space. So that Kosovo ship may never be accessible. It may never have been accessible in the first place and may have been co-op only. But even if there was some solo gameplay in the Kosovo, if we don't ever leave the planet and we spend the rest of the game on this planet, that's gonna suck. It's gonna suck in general, though, if we spend even the vast majority of the rest of this game on the planet. I think what you might want to do in a sequence in this game, and this is just coming to the top of my head right now as I'm speaking, is we know that Ellie and Isaac had a relationship. So having the horror hallucinations of the first game, instead of just completely eliminating them, you could have had flashbacks, like false narrative flashbacks, where you saw Isaac dating Ellie, and you could see their whole relationship, and you would see how in his memories it turned. He would always imagine the worst happening, and he'd always hallucinate Ellie getting turned into a necromorph or getting killed. And then you could have those horror scenes, and they could just be memories of hallucinations, while keeping Isaac still relatively mentally sane compared to his state in previous games, where he was pretty much crazy in the first game and the second game. That would have worked fine, certainly. You could have also just had some flashbacks intertwined with that to build up Isaac as more of a character. And I would really have to question whether you'd even want to bother to build up Isaac as a character in this series, and whether you'll be playing as a character like Isaac in the potential remake of the game. I wouldn't be surprised if you play as a completely different character in a completely different timeline. I wouldn't be surprised if it is a female protagonist. We can see there was some EA cynicism that still is fairly prevalent amongst a lot of AAA publishers even today, in that you have two hard-boiled military men being playable as the co-op characters, and Ellie is relegated to just being a cutscene character, when in the second game she proved herself to be fairly adept at surviving, at least storyline wise. That's how it went. Notice also we have not seen any indication whatsoever of the cult, the religion, that they've just been non-existent. They apparently did not exist on these old ships, because we haven't seen really any marker symbols or any unitology chapels or anything like that. So they showed up at the beginning of the game. You have to kind of assume that they're going to show up on this planet at some point and turn into like a military human challenger, which I don't know how this game really works at that point, if people are just shooting bullets at you and doing as much damage as your gun can do to them, if not way more. Dead Space only made sense when Isaac had that unique advantage of being able to slice off limbs, which they haven't really made us focus on that at all. So yeah, there's a lot of missteps certainly going forward that can be made, and plenty of missteps that have already been made. And I don't know what the right path would be to fix this. The main thing I think you would do is you wouldn't have put it on a snowy white ice planet. You would have put it on something that looked much closer to Hell, or like Doom, the Doom reboot interpretation of Hell. Like lots of lava, lots of rocks, lots of darkness. That's what you would expect to see with the Necromorphs, not snow. Anyways, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.